What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fight Like Hell podcast, episode 69. We're coming to you on a Wednesday, August 31st in the year 2022, in case you're listening to us in 2037. Not too far from now, but close. Anyways, I have my heterosexual life mate, Austin. And below us, we have a really good friend. Would you mind introducing him, Austin?
Yeah, so we have a good friend of ours who we are working with for September that we've known for a while, and it's Justin from Oath to Country Foundation. How's it going, man?
Hey, gentlemen, Rob and Austin, thank you guys for having myself as a representative for Out Country Foundation. And for those of you that do not know me, my name is Dr. Justin Garcia. I'm the founder and president of Out Country Foundation, based out of Southern California, but stretching beyond state lines at this point. We're now about to embark on a real fun experience working with you guys throughout the month of September, working with individuals and representatives from other foundations and supporters all around the country for this very important and noble cause. So thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to hit us with our little promotion that we have for two sponsors, and then we're going to get into a little bit of a backstory about you, and we'll get on with the show. All right. Our first official sponsor of the Fight Like Hell podcast is Invicta Coffee Co. Invicta Coffee Co. is a veteran-owned company out of Arizona. We're really good friends with the owner, Spencer. He's also been on the podcast. The interesting thing about his company is with some of his proceeds, he actually takes them and puts them into mental health awareness programs for veterans. We love his coffee. My favorite one, hands down, is the Sister Dale collab that he did, where it's a bourbon pecan. And if you would like to save a little bit of money, please go over to their website, which there will be a link included in our description of this podcast, and enter the code Fight Like Hell, all one word, to receive 10% off. Again, that's Fight Like Hell to receive 10% off. Our second official sponsor of the podcast is Patriot Cookies, patriotcookies.co. I'm pretty sure it is. That also will be in our notes for the exact website. They're a veteran-owned company out of Florida that makes delicious cookies. They're constantly coming out with new ones. I saw one today where it's a chocolate fudge on the outside. It breaks open in the middle, and it's a cake pop in the middle. They also have gluten-free ones, vegan ones, like super healthy ones. They're a really good company. He also does, the owner of it, Johnny Tackby Fit, does a lot with veterans and suicide awareness as well. If you would like to save 15%, please visit their website and enter the code Fight Like Hell, all one word. Again, Fight Like Hell, and you will receive 15% off on some really damn good cookies. All right. That's our promo. Justin, let's talk about you a little bit. Like where you're from, what's your military background? Give us like a 5-minute or less summary of who you are.
I'll do my best to summarize it in 5 minutes or less. So that's a tall order to fill, Rob.
I know we'll get into like details on everything later in the cast, but like just tell us why people want to tune in and know more about you and Oath to Country Foundation.
Okay, so this dates back approximately 2 years ago. So during the middle of the COVID 2020 pandemic, I put together a storyline towards the end of 2019. I want to say around October, November. I put this story together that belonged to my grandfather, who passed away in 1983, so 5 years before I was born. Come to find out through a lot of research, a lot of phone calls, and turning stones over that hadn't been turned over in decades. So what I had found out was my grandfather forged his birth certificate in 1945 to enlist in the U.S. Army, and that during that time we were towards the tail end of World War II. So my grandfather, like many brave young men around our country, had done the same thing. Some of them as young as 13 years old. I don't know if you guys knew that. Fighting.
No, did not know that.
World War II, yes. So he forged his name, his date of birth, and In 1983, when he passed away, my mom was approximately 17 years old. So when she went to inquire about his benefits to be honored and buried as a veteran of our country, our government told my mom that he never served a day in the United States Army. So as you can imagine, well, why? So in 1973, there was a fire at the National Personnel Record Center in St. Louis, Missouri. And there at that fire, my grandfather's records were on the 6th floor, from what I remember, through all the research that I've done. The archives date back from 1912 to 1963. I could be off, plus or minus, but approximately 18 million service archives were burned and or erased from history. So my grandfather's records were there, so our country had no record of him ever serving. So I put together all this research, and what was really my genesis moment was when I found out my grandfather was buried in a private cemetery with no veteran recognition. I challenged the Veterans Administration with pictures, stories, my own account of my ancestors, this history that I put together of him. And I challenged the government. So in 2020, it was, I want to say, the month of April. The 45th president at that time was Donald Trump. This was a real defining moment for not only myself, but for my family. We were recognized with the Presidential Memorial Certificate after 36 years, finally acknowledging that my grandfather served our country. So,
wow.
Again, dating back to the later years of 2019, I set out on a quest to honor and remember a forgotten hero and to give back to his brothers and sisters. So going back to your question, Rob, about my service experience, I never served a day in our armed forces, but I come from a long family line of servicemen and women. I mean, I could even tell you something pretty cool. My uncle, he was a T5 tank commander at the Battle of the Bulge, which was the last and bloodiest battle of all of World War II. And he helped capture 250 Germans during the war. And he's recognized as a war hero in a museum up in Marysville, California. And come to find out, not only is he recognized in this museum, but this museum actually is in our family. Come to find out, it's a cousin who owns it, of all people and of all things, right? So it was a beautiful experience to actually travel up there and see a bit of my family's history in serving our country. So I have warrior's blood in me, and I know that to be true because, like you guys, I fought like hell to get to where the organization is today, and because I didn't take no for an answer, and I'll take you guys back to a moment that I had, and that was a moment in prayer. This was at the beginning, I'd say maybe January or February, when I was already working with the state of California to form the 501c3. And I remember having a prayer one night, gentlemen, and this really strikes a chord for me, because I remember having a prayer, and I said, God, if you can just hear my prayer right now, I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable in this space with you, and I just want to share this sentiment. And that's, I've never served our country. I have a big heart for, serving my country, working in healthcare, but to step into this arena, with veterans and active duty reserves, I don't quite understand how all of this works, how it will work. Will it ever work? So I had a lot of self-doubt, and I had to pray on that self-doubt. And I said, God, if this is something you want me to do, you'll open up the doors for me to help save our men and women who have come back from war, suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and other different types of mental health conditions that stem from serving. So before you know it, now we're in 2022 and we're running a full-scale nationwide. I mean, gosh, we even have supporters as far as Greece. So it's been I do have to acknowledge God's hand in this entire mission, because I didn't know who else to turn to when I didn't think that this was possible. So again, meeting gentlemen like yourselves, to help actually support that vision and want to, pour a little bit into this so we can pour more out into the world. I mean, this is the whole, this is the beauty in all of it, because, we can, like-minded men come together and support the same mission and help it come to fruition, and to see it impact lives all around the country is really something beautiful. So, I serve my country every day, Rob and Austin.
Yeah, 100% you do. Like, wait, can I cut you off for a second? Just because,
Absolutely.
like, I feel like you're trying to, I don't want to say qualify to our listeners, but by all means, like,
oversell yourself.
Oversell yourself. That's a better way to say it, because, part of Save Our Six, which is the company that I own, and part of the reason why we met, the things that we support are, we support military, we support 911 services, and we support medical personnel. And whether they're past, present, or family related is all equal to us, because we are united to do stuff like that. And to be completely honest with you, a lot of us that did our military time, we've gone away from that. And now we rely on people that went to school like you did and now are in the medical profession. So everyone who knows who you are already, adores you, Justin. And, it doesn't change anything. I just, for some reason, I thought you were in the Marines for some reason. And keep in mind,
I mean,
like,
he looks like he looks like
you look like you served, and the way you carry yourself. So, like, if anything, I'm giving you the compliment on that. But at the same time, like, it's not a requirement to be on Fight Like Hell to begin with, or it's a requirement to be associated with us. I misspoke. So it's my apologies.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like you eat crayons. So, I mean, yeah.
I think he's smarter than that.
I have a lot of love for our Marines, man.
No,
I know you run with the flag.
With how smart he is, he'd probably be in the Air Force.
Yeah,
okay,
hey, I'm not a behind the desk kind of guy, Austin. Honestly, man, I out there on the field, dude. So I'm a let's roll up my sleeves and get to work kind of guy.
I know you are, man. Tell us the mission behind Oath to Country Foundation.
So our mission is to foster a community of connectivity and collaboration with people like yourself, and supporters and veterans, first responders, not just here locally, but all around the world, to unite for one common cause, and that's to save lives. So, we've dedicated a lot of our efforts to bring the community together through different types of events, such as salute to service softball tournaments, beach yoga for mental health. We've partnered with the city of Baldwin Park, and they've graciously opened their doors to, block off an entire street for us to bring the community together for mental health awareness walk and run events. We've hosted 22-mile beach events in the past that we, which we'll touch on a little bit later, because we look forward to bringing that back out into the community and uniting every one of us along the California coast, because there's nothing like it. So it's really important for us to continue to work diligently with our community partners as well as our supporters, so that we can continue this path of seeing people heal together. And I will have to speak on this because it's on my heart right now. Another really important program that we're running is this elderly hero home restoration program. So is it okay, gentlemen, if I start touching on a little bit?
No, like, we can go as long as you want to talk. Okay. Like spit out, man. Tell us everything you want.
So this program that we're running, we're identifying local elderly heroes, again, veterans, and or first responders, and we're going to their homes and we're cleaning them. Now, define cleaning a little bit. We're repairing holes in walls and fences, and we're leveling surfaces. We're planting, new plants. I mean, we're bringing the community together to help give back a little bit of love to those that have sacrificed dearly for what we have today, for our freedoms, for our ability to to live in a safe country. So it's the little things like that that allow us to bring people who might be struggling that day, but there's a sense of peace and joy and restoration. It's a home restoration, but for those that might be suffering from post-traumatic stress, I know several friends that come out to these projects, you know, they're experiencing these things in real time. So when they're out there, you know, looking to the left and right, and they see their brothers and sisters alongside them, you know, planting a new plant, or or sweeping up the leaves, there's that restoration that consumes the soul, and it puts a little bit of beauty back in one's heart. So we see a lot of people come out to these events for their own version of healing, and it looks different for everyone, right? Like, we all heal differently, but it's really something beautiful to see. And I encourage both of you gentlemen to come out here and put on your work gloves and come, put in some hours alongside us when we find our next hero. And that's really something that we're really honing in on right now. We just partnered with the city of Baldwin Park. We will be rolling out a 6 home restoration program within the next year. So we're going to find 6 elderly heroes, and we're going to be rolling out these very big event days to bring the community together to help give back a little bit of that love that they have poured into their line of work and their respective branches and their service. So that's really something that we're focused on right now, gentlemen, is this elderly home restoration program. And on top of that, another sentimental program that we're running is our Homeless Vets and Pets campaign. So we identify local, homeless veterans with pets, and we go curbside, we go tent side, we go street side, we go right to the heart of our heroes, wherever they may live. And whether it's providing them with, some financial support or mental health resources, I mean, we could deploy a wide array of services just by taking the time out of our day to get to hear someone's story. Mm-hmm. So, that's a real nice program that we're running. So we have quite the year still ahead of us, but hang tight. I mean, a lot of these updates are going to come through via Instagram. So, I definitely encourage everyone, if you're local here in the Los Angeles area, or even beyond our state borders, please come out. Everyone's welcome. Our events are free. We don't charge anyone to attend. And it's our way of just trying to help the community grow and heal together. And that's what brings us here today, is to share a little bit of how we can give back to those that need it the most right now.
100%. And, Austin's going to bring up your Instagram here in a second.
Yeah, right there.
Like, let's actually look at, some of these posts here. You're also a recent graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Talk about your schooling, because I know that's been a big part of your life for the past 2 years that I've known you, at least. It's always been about schooling and working. And
no, that's definitely true, Rob. It took 6 dedicated years to finish my doctoral journey, and at the end of it, I completed my first publication. So if you guys actually go on the World Wide Web and you type in Dr. Justin Garcia, you'll see my research study that I did in the state of Texas on nursing turnover. So to kind of segue a little bit into what I do, I work in healthcare administration, currently for a hospital. So I have dedicated my life and service to helping those that are sick and elderly. And actually, to my surprise, starting the foundation, it sort of exposed my heart and my ability to see and recognize things. And before you know it, I mean, I'm seeing more veterans in front of me every single day, and taking the time to, really get to hear their stories, when they're faced with some of the toughest days ahead of them. So if it means, for me, taking a couple minutes out of a busy morning, I'll get to go and ask someone, if they could share a little bit of their experience with me. And for some reason, I always see it, it can turn a bad day into a good day when they can share something positive about their service. So, you know, I'm on the front lines, you know, with many other respective medical professionals all around the world, and you know, it's no easy job, but you know, we put the service of others above ourselves, and that's why I'm in this job, because I have a genuine love and passion for serving others, and even sometimes at my own expense and my own mental health. You know, so it was quite the journey, Rob. But you know, I'm just thankful, and you know, to God to just have gotten me through that experience, because that was tough. You know, it was 365 for 6 years straight, and you know, I'm just thankful to be where I'm at right now, and I only look forward to continue to, you know, utilize my skill sets and my talents to help serve those on a greater scale. You know, I do have aspirations of becoming a hospital CEO one day, and running, you know, a healthcare system of my own. Um, you know, so there's a lot going on too behind the Oath to Country Foundation scenes, because myself, like many of our other board of directors who are not here, who I know are, I want to have you two individually.
No,
There,
yeah,
you ahead, Austin.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, so I have a question. So
Yeah.
with you being on the front lines, how and in the healthcare system, how did COVID hit you hard?
That was a tough experience, Austin. I mean, we're sort of we're out of the eye of the storm at this point.
Yeah.
But during that time, it was tough, Austin. Patients couldn't see their loved ones. I mean, we've all heard the stories, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people passing away with their family members in the parking lot, you know, not being able to see them, you know, for the last time. So, and seeing just even, you know, not just our patients, you know, fighting for their lives, but we also had, you know, our nursing staff, our administrative staff, going through the effects, the mental health effects behind battling an invisible war, right? We were
Mm-hmm.
kind of flying a plane and trying to build it at the same time, Austin. It was like, it's like we were just blindsided out of nowhere. How do we respond to this effectively, and how do we manage this situation? You know, so pulling together all of our resources, our knowledge, our expertise, to try and figure out, well, how do we get through this? And it took a lot of trial and error, but I can sure point out one thing. It did create this sort of like environment of depression,
Mm-hmm.
environment of anxiety, um, stress. You know, I mean, checking in to the hospital for, you know, well over a year, you know, having to go through, you know, our COVID protocols, and just even the fear of going home after work. I can even
Mm-hmm.
share this with you. I had a friend whose wife wouldn't allow him in the house. She would leave a black trash bag full of clothes outside the door when he got home from work, and he had to go and sleep in the garage, and it was like that for several months. I had friends all across LA and Orange County sleeping you know, at hotels, not going home, sleeping in hospital parking garages and parking lots, you know. So you can imagine how detriment it was to just the medical profession,
Mm-hmm.
and the mental health impact that it had. And there's still residual effects from that. You know,
Oh
there's,
yeah.
you know, similar to, you know, going off and fighting in combat. You know, just because you come back doesn't mean the war is over. It
Mm-hmm.
still continues within ourselves. So, you know, being a big proponent of mental health, and you know, and being open to share a message about it's okay to seek help with the therapist. I'm a big proponent of that. I share that in the hospital. It's okay to reach out for help, and to seek a therapist. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I could even tell you that I'll tell you this one, and it's coming to mind right now. I had a good friend of mine, Austin, who reached out to me, tapped me on the shoulder in the hallway in the hospital, somewhere during COVID. And he goes, "Hey, man," he goes, I know you're running this foundation, but I have to share something with you. I was like, "Sure, lay it on me. What's going on?" He goes, I had a lot of people code on me recently, and there was one day where there were a lot of lives that I saw pass in front of me on one shift. And he goes, I'm still, I'm feeling the effects of it, So, you know, combat looks a little bit different, in different environments, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and the effects, of post-traumatic stress is real, whether you served in our armed forces or you serve on the front lines in the hospital.
Oh, 100%. I mean, because you still see people, you still have people like he said, if you lose 10 patients, 20 patients a day, you still have, you know, you still in the back of your mind, you're like, what could I have done better? What could I have done to help, save them? You still have to deal with that trauma every day.
Hmm.
And then
Well,
how do you Justin deal with the trauma? Like, what's your way of dealing with it and not taking it home to let it affect your home life?
For the sake of honesty in this public space with you guys, um, I'm still trying to find ways. I'm still
mhm.
working on it. And working with a therapist and trying to identify healthy coping mechanisms to find better responses to managing those tough days. It is tough, you know. It, it, there comes a point in your time in your life where you kind of have to say, you know what, I can't take this home anymore. It's having an effect not just on myself but my loved ones. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it really takes a level of cognizance and inner strength to see that and to find solutions for that. And I can tell you, not just myself, but I have a lot of colleagues that who are doctors and surgeons. I mean, there are different types of traumas that go on every single day, and it's hard to flip that switch off. And I think a lot of people wish it were that easy to just flip that switch off. You know,
Mm.
and it takes work. It takes mental health support. It takes reaching out to your peers. It really takes a village to get through some of the most difficult times. But yeah, Austin, to your point, it's something that I'm cognizant of, that I still continue to work on still to this day, because I'm not perfect, and
Mm-hmm.
we all feel and we all have emotions. And if I didn't have raw emotions in the line of work that I do, I wouldn't really be good at my job.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do put people first, and it requires a level of vulnerability working in this population. You know?
Yeah, no, I think it's good to be, like you said, vulnerable, especially in your situation when you're working with so many people that they come to the hospital and they are vulnerable at the hospital, because they don't have any other option, and they're dealing with these traumas, and it's good to be, you know, especially with your nurses and doctors, you have to be vulnerable so you can relate to each other, so you can connect on a better level with each other.
Hmm.
What do you got,
Yeah.
Rob? Maybe. Me? I keep talking because Allie's going crazy over there.
Just listen to this right now. This is her burying a bone in a box next to the computer. But I was just gonna say, hey, touch on like the whole entire like the back of our 22 challenge shirts. Not all wounds are visible. Maybe we can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, yeah, because especially in not a combat situation, PTSD affects everybody, no matter whether you can see it or not. And like Rob was saying, we have the saying, not all wounds are visible, because just because you see that someone's not physically broken doesn't mean they're not mentally or emotionally hurting.
Hmm. No, that is 100% true, Austin. And to speak to that, all wounds are, sometimes not visible. But I can tell you, working in the medical field, we have these individuals that come in from, whether it be car crashes or, falling off a roof or just, something traumatic, a motor vehicle accident. And there are different types of experiences that we all have that can create, this situation that could have an everlasting impact on their lives. And it's unfortunate to see how people don't quite know how to identify it, and they're trying to find ways to, see the light at the end of the tunnel. But we have to come to terms with ourselves, with that point of, we have to reach out to help. So, that's when we involve, social workers, case workers, and that's how we're able to deploy the services that we feel people need in those traumatic experiences. But the wounds, sometimes, I mean, we can see, lacerations and amputees, but, there are wounds that these people go through that really need, a time, patience, and love from all of us to give to them, to hear that story, and I think sometimes we want to suppress these stories so far down that it we tend to spiral downhill. And I think that's where we need to be open and more vocal and more public about having these conversations. And I think we could all agree with that point. It's okay to not be okay, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that running Save Our Six and getting the honor of having so many different amazing guests come on Fight Like Hell has taught me is that we all experience our own traumas, our own situations that, define who we are today. And one of the unique things about the podcast is getting those people on and telling their story. And those people even venture outside the medical community, the military community, the first responder community. We've had on plenty of people that, didn't even touch those things, but they support those things, which, we love and care about. But it's always interesting when you find people and what they've been through and how they got to today. But in life, like you kind of said, and I'm misquoting this a little bit, but you're still working through your stuff and you're a work in progress, but that's the thing you're working through. And I love the fact that we get to meet people like you. We've been friends with you for so long. If you don't mind, I'm going to go into why like we picked you and your company for the 22 challenge. So the 22 challenge starts tomorrow on September 1st. It goes through the month of September. The goal is for suicide awareness because on average daily, there's 22 veterans that commit suicide, sometimes more, sometimes less. But the ideology behind it is to create a community that wants to go out and walk, run, hike, bike, whatever it takes to complete your 22 miles with wearing 22 pounds. You can either wear that in a vest, you can throw that in a pack, whatever you got to do to carry it. And, I was scratching my head like crazy. Austin and I were trying to find a good company to work with because this is the third time we're doing an event. And the first time it was very simple. We ended up pairing with Rescue 22, which is a company that pairs disabled veterans with dogs that were in shelters and possibly going to be euthanized. So that was a no-brainer to work with them. And then we went after a huge company that gladly was going to take our money, but had zero. They told us like 14 days into the March challenge that they would not promote us. They would not put out the word. They had a challenge going on then. They didn't want to like put out anything about it, and it really upset us. So we switched it back, learned a lesson, work with people that we actually know. And I was sitting there one night, and I was taking a shower, and I'm like 22 miles, 22 pounds. I'm like, wait a second. We know Justin. His company literally does this. Like they do 22 challenges on the beach. It's it's amazing. And like, you're this great dude, you're a nonprofit, you're helping out veterans that are homeless and their dogs. And like, we love talking to you when we get to. So we're like, we should ask Justin. And, you know, you eventually saw the message and you're like, oh, yes, please, definitely. And it's just, it makes me really happy that we got to pair with you for an important mission, but also the fact that this is going to hopefully help your company grow as well.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the fact that you were in the shower when you thought of us. Um, Rob, this is really the fabric and DNA of um, there's really something to be said about how this organization started, and the first event dates back to August 8th, 2020, when I called a good friend of mine, Jerry Merritt, who suffers from post-traumatic stress. And I said, Jerry, we're in the middle of COVID right now. We can't even leave our homes here in LA County, but let's not take no for an answer. There's a message that we need to put out into the world, and that's we need to save lives and start opening up that public dialogue about suicide awareness and prevention. And Jerry followed me for 22 miles along the California coast, and I had 22 pounds on me for that one with a steel flag. So I don't know, it came out to over something maybe like 28, 30 pounds. And and we carried out several more successful 22-mile challenges on the coast. And it's really something special to see a lot of people come out on the beach, because let's face it, everyone loves the beach, and it has a place of peace and serenity in it. So to really see some of our combat guys and women out there for day on the coast is really something special. So I'm going to continue to push it out here in Southern California, no matter whether it's a coastline or in your city's neighborhood, to get out there and join us for this nationwide effort. And I do have to say, on behalf of the entire board of directors, Rob and Austin, thank you guys for selecting Out OTCF Foundation for this real noble cause that we're about to embark. And we're just one day away, so it's really going to take a village, and I think we've already seen a lot of show of support from men and women all around the United States. I think we've shared numerous stories and pictures and posts, and I think we've done a pretty good job with getting the message out there. And I think we're going to have to ask ourselves to continue to be more diligent on that front, throughout the entire month of September. So the mission doesn't stop here, and let's see this all the way through, because again, this is the beauty behind the foundation is, and it's something that I will share publicly, and that's our board. We have no one's paid a salary on this foundation, and I know that's something that doesn't quite often get shared unless someone asks. We are all non-salary. Many of our board members, we have a World War II veteran, Jim Helms, who honorably served for many, many, many years, who is our former mayor. So he's one of our board members. We have Jacqueline Awad, who's a criminal defense attorney, family law. We also have Eddie Coronado, USMC combat veteran. We have Eddie Hernandez, U.S. Army combat veteran. Sandy Sanchez, he's our chief financial officer. He served during Vietnam. He was in, he has an interesting story. He was in for 26 years and went on to work at the Pentagon post-service in accounting. So this gentleman runs all the accounting and finances for the foundation to make sure we're doing all the right things by the state of California. So we have quite the special group of individuals with some really, really tremendous hearts carrying this organization forward, as evidenced by the things that we've accomplished to this point and the foreseeable future. So, I'm just, again, truly thankful for the both of you for, again, selecting Out OTCF Foundation and just allowing us to work together for the same common goal with the same objectives of, again, spreading the awareness and prevention of suicide throughout the entire month of September. But again, I mean, for many years to come. I mean, this is not our first collab.
Oh. Who we lose him? He froze.
He froze up.
You guys there?
He's
Okay,
back. He's
okay,
back.
there you go. You
Okay.
froze for a minute there.
So yeah, gentlemen, I was just sharing, just our level of gratitude and thanks for the both of you.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we are honored to choose you. I mean, like like Rob said, you do the same event basically, so it was a no-brainer for Rob to choose you, and we know you're a legit good company. So Michael, what is the big picture goal for Earth Country Foundation?
Big macro goal here. We want to continue to reach those that feel themselves in the most vulnerable spaces. Having this nonprofit, we've been fortunate enough for many individuals to reach out to us for counsel, for good counsel, for support, whether it be with canines, for psychotherapy treatment, for financial support. There are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that we, as a board, um, have agreed to really keep the confidentiality and privacy of the individuals that we
Of
serve
course.
behind the scenes. So, big picture, you know what? We want to stay present, gentlemen. You know what? God has the future, and what we can do is control the now. And right now, we see this opportunity that we're about to start, for the entire month with you guys. And we're just going to take it one day at a time. I mean, I could say we want offices all around the country. We want support centers. It's very possible, but we need to work within what's realistic right now. We need to stay
Mm-hmm.
focused. We have a lot of working programs that are doing extremely well. um, so we don't want to bite off more than we can chew, but we do have a big vision. We would love to have a support center somewhere here in Southern California. Maybe partner with Invicta Coffee and have a coffee shop. I mean, I do have that vision, and being able to bring that to life, it will happen, but it will take time, patience, love, and energy, and it'll come.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think that's good. Is definitely focus on the present instead of having all these wild expectations that could or could not come to fruition.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what we know right now is working is our elderly hero home restoration program, servicing our homeless veterans with pets all over Southern California. Um, Sponsoring combat veterans mental health treatment. These are things that are tangible, that are real, working in real time, and they have real benefits, and there's positive outcomes in this. So we're focused on the day to day, and that's what's carrying this mission forward. We just like you guys. I mean, the whole message behind Fight Like Hell podcast. You know, we all share that similar fight. Because quite frankly, gentlemen, there's not enough of it out there, and it's our duty and responsibility to each other and to our country to help those that need us most, and that's right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all doing our fair share in the world to leave this place a little better than how we found it, right?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely the goal. And, kind of on the now versus the future, the past, a lot of people that, saw me go through my injury or whatever, with my ankle, we had a guest on probably like episode 50, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Salvi, or did I say it right?
Slavy.
Slavy. And he was going through a lot too. I'm not going to air his private life, but he was going through a lot with medical stuff. And he told me something that, I may or may not have said on the podcast, but I'll say it again, is, The problem is we focus on too much of what's happened to us in the past and where we want to be in the future versus like what's going on right now. And we should definitely focus on the things that we're grateful for and the things that we have in front of us versus diving too much into like what will come and what could have, should have, would have from the past.
Yeah. I agree with you there, Rob.
Yeah. So one of the things that we skipped at the beginning that I wanted to do, just in case you had anything cool going on in the past couple of weeks, we usually do a section called Weekend Adventures where we talk about things that happened over the weekend or things that are coming up in the coming weekends. I'll start with Austin because
Nothing.
you're going to have a busy weekend coming up, though. And we'll get into that in a little bit about the shirts. But Justin, have you had anything interesting or cool that's been going on the past couple weekends that are coming up?
Yeah, coming up, I think there's been a real strong effort in trying to spread the awareness for this specific, event that we're going to be doing all September long. So I put a lot of time and dedication into sharing the message privately and on social media to really bring about a joint effort in this, so that we can really see, just how much of an impact we can have this entire month. And I know we can do it, gentlemen. So, I did put a lot of time, love, and energy into making sure, we have our people signed up, ready to go, and just channeling people to your guys' pages for Q's and A's. But looking ahead, we partnered with SoCal Shoot Events in the month of October 22nd. We were selected as the nonprofit of choice. So up here at Burrow Canyon with Shooting Park, it's located in Azusa, California. We'll be out there with a lot of veterans, active, reserve, and law enforcement, fire. I mean, we're going to see people from all walks of life come out to this event. That we're going to be, again, the designated foundation to support for the day. And looking ahead, we have our Toys for Tots event. I don't know if we haven't really touched on this at all, just because there's been a lot of time and separation between us, Rob. But last December, we hosted an event that raised over 2,000 toys, and we distributed those toys to churches, foster care agency, to moms, to neighbors, to we sent them to a church in Texas. I mean, name it. We did the best we could to spread the love and joy all around Southern California and even out of state. And so we look forward to having another successful Toys for Tots event this year. For those less fortunate, and that's what we're all about. It's tugging the heartstrings where we can, and having an everlasting impact. And what we're all about, Rob, is just really just faith and charity and hope. And that's what allows us to do what we do in a very successful way. But I mean, that's really what we have going on in the horizon for the foundation. But there's still a lot of little things that we're going to try to interject here and there, such as the elderly home cleanups and still providing service and support to our homeless veterans. So that's really the year that we're looking to finish off. We're already in the month of September, boys. And this year has come and gone by pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I guess first off, when those events are coming up, you're obviously welcome to tag us in anything. We'd be more than happy to share your message and put it out. And down the road, we could definitely have you come on, or anyone else from the board we had discussed earlier, about them coming on and talking about things you're currently doing or going to do, because we like you as a person, Justin, and then we like what your company does. And it goes back to something you and I talked about on that live that we did, and you even hit it earlier, tangible. And you're providing tangible services to help people, and that's just that speaks volumes about, what your organization is, who you are as a person, also as a medical care person. I mean, it's just, we were very happy to get you on and talk about these things.
Yeah, no, thank you, gentlemen. I really think that there's, I mean, Rob, our friendship dates back to, I think when I originally started the foundation. I mean, so our friendship goes back, I'd say just a couple years, right? Maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see it come full circle when the foundation, really started on a shoestring budget. I had to break open my piggy bank for this thing, and it's really nice that the foundation has some substance and some weight to it, because now we're talking about real programs that are having such a profound impact in our communities all across Southern California. So yeah, it's just so beautiful to see how everything just kind of works in just such a beautiful way. That's again provided by God, and just having people with the like-minded vision of just wanting to do good in the world. It costs nothing to be a good person. And to want to do something good to maybe cheer someone up. And I'm a big proponent of, you know what, let's all do one deed today for someone other than ourselves. And then watch that be the domino effect. Watch that one person do it to someone else, and someone else will do it to someone else. And I really take I really take that to heart, because there are a lot of people struggling today. And we really hope that for those that are struggling, that might be hearing this podcast once it's posted, just for them to know, reach out to Austin, from Vigilant and Humble, reach out to Rob from Save Our Six, reach out to myself with Out to Country Foundation. And if there's something that we cannot do or provide immediate results for, I can almost assure you, all of us, we all know someone somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's really helpful for people to know. If there's a question you might need help with, VA support, or VA legal support, I mean, there's all sorts of things. People just have to be willing to ask the questions. Where can I go to get help? I have a question about this. We can provide more support than just putting t-shirts on our bodies, right? And I think that that's what people really need to see and hear from us. We will talk the talk, and we will walk the walk. And we can stand by our word on that. If there's something someone needs, we're here to help serve.
Absolutely. And speaking of weekend adventures, I want to just slightly touch on mine, because I had a pretty interesting weekend, Sunday through Tuesday. I got the honor and privilege of spending basically 3 days with Buck and his service dog, Addie. You can find him on Instagram at the Tattooed Electrician. I think I got it right. Did I get it right, Austin?
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. Yeah, and he is getting ready to start a new job out near where I live out in Utah. I'm in Arizona. He's in Utah now, but on his drive across country, he was finding places to stay at, and he hit me up to come and hang out with me and Allie and do some hiking out here and see some cool stuff. And it goes into the profound effects of where social media has positive outcomes, where you meet these incredible people, and then sometimes you even get to link up with them and spend time with them. And it's funny, because like Buck was here and hung out, and I was telling Austin, he talks the same, like he is the same person that I've known through social media, and the same guy that we've had on the podcast twice. It wasn't even like meeting someone new. It was just like hanging out with a longtime friend. So
That's cool.
It's super cool when stuff like that works out. And I know down the road, when Austin and I can afford it or whatever, we'll we'll make a venture out there either for one of the 22 challenges that you host or come out there to help out with one of these events. It's just, we're very interested, but we have a lot of things going on in our little areas too. And it makes it challenging at times, but ultimately like that connection still is there, and we appreciate and we look at the bright sides of social media, and people like you, people like him are the reasons why we're able to even do this podcast or have our companies. So yeah, that was my weekend.
Wow, what a weekend, Rob.
Yeah. Austin, do we want to, I think we should talk about on the podcast, especially since we have a decent amount of listeners who are part of the 22 challenge. I'm kind of blindsiding you with this, but I'm going to just say it anyways. Why don't you tell everyone what happened with the shirts and why they're delayed?
Oh, I mean, we just had some delays because I ordered the materials and the colors of the shirts didn't turn out how I wanted them to.
Yeah, and you sent it to me the other day. Like, first off, our delivery of everything, like some people misunderstood that it was a pre-order and that we were going to try to get them out at the end of the month. So during the month of August, we tried to collect all the people that wanted shirts, and that involves making the transfers for them. It also involved us getting patches for the first 50 people that bought them. And inevitably with our supply chain, stuff didn't show up on Monday, and then when it showed up either on Tuesday or it was supposed to show up last Friday, it showed up on Monday or Tuesday, the colors were completely off. And Austin sent it to me in a side by side comparison to our March for Miles, because we also did a black shirt with the multicam color on that one, and there was a drastic difference. It was a difference that you could only see if you probably had the March for Miles shirt. And it was a decision we had to make where, do we just push out something that we think is less than quality, or do we contact the manufacturer who actually made Austin's design, which he took time to make that custom shirt? Like all these shirts that we make they're usually the artwork done by, Austin, and it wasn't what we were looking for. So luckily he was able to contact them. They said that we were right and that they are going to send us the new transfers. So Austin didn't have a busy weekend last weekend, but he's probably going to have a busy closeout of this weekend trying to get, I think we had like 46 or in between 46 or 48 shirts ordered. You're on mute.
No, I'm not. Don't tell me what I am. I think we're up to like 52 right now.
Okay, cool. Well, those ones that just trickled in, unfortunately, we're not going to have a patch for you.
Yeah, no. And this is the patch. So I have the patch right here.
Yeah, the patches actually came in pretty quick. That's also a custom one that Austin made, and it's actually from an idea that we had last year with the shirt. We wanted to do something for y'all, and we mentioned it in the last podcast, because we know that asking for $40 is not exactly a cheap shirt. But again, $10 go to Oath to Country Foundation, and then $30 go into your shirt and to your patch. And like I mentioned before, last year Austin and I ended up coming out of pocket to make the 22 challenge work. So we had to up the price, and we're sorry. We're learning everything as we're doing this stuff in real time. So like next year, we'll probably do a cutoff even sooner. That way we can foresee this, because our next big challenge will probably be in March. We might do something in between then. But it's been a learning process. And the only thing that I would say that we definitely got right was picking you, Justin, to collab with for this project. And also, for those of you who missed the patch or don't want the shirt, but are interested in making a direct donation to Oath to Country Foundation, we set up posts on all of our social medias, and a couple of you who are just listeners or friends of Save Our Six or Vigilant Humble Oath to Country, I've seen you all adding the little donation button to the top of your Instagram. So if you go to any of our Instagrams right now and you want to make a donation, even if it's a small amount, every little dollar helps go towards this truly nonprofit. And that's another thing that we learned about you tonight, which is awesome, and why we loved working with Rescue 22. They're 100% nonprofit as well. So finding companies out there, they're truly trying to help and not just line their pockets. Know that your money is going somewhere towards a tangible cause.
Actually, I'll show you. So I buy dog food with your money to give
which goes to the homeless veterans with dogs, right?
To our homeless vets with pets. I mean, this is just one small item, but I keep them handy if I come across a veteran or even just someone who never even served, who needs, food for their dog. So I keep supplies handy. Sometimes it's baby wipes that they need. So, or toilet paper, clean water. These are real necessities that are needed by a lot of individuals. I mean, not just here in Los Angeles, but all over the country. So yeah, every dollar does have an impact, because we're able to take that dollar and head over to Costco and buy things by bulk and take it to the communities that need it the most. So yeah, I mean, even 50 cents goes a long way. We'll find a home for it.
Yeah. And do you want to touch on, it's probably about a year and a half ago when you started like the Vets for Pets. I think at one point you were doing something where you guys were even trying to get people to donate like tent supplies or something like that, or trying to help with like living arrangements. Do you want to explain that a little bit better than I'm butchering?
So there is a veteran transitional home that we are working with. Event, we do have someone who is homeless and needs a transitional home to stay at, located in just right near the USC college campus is this transitional home that we're able to house individuals. And what we'll do is we'll set up, it might be, a short-term stay, could be anywhere between 30, maybe even 60 days. And we will support the transitional costs that come with it. So, that's again where your dollars go. Your hard-earned, deserved money does go to those that need it the most. And then even with our tents, I mean, we had our biggest homeless vet outreach. We spent over, I wish I had the exact dollar amount, but we spent over $4,000 on tents, water, sleeping bags, insect repellent, name it. We bought it. And that was our biggest outreach day. So the more we take in, the more we're able to give right back out into the community. So yeah, I mean, whatever the need is, honestly, gentlemen, we will do it. I mean, there's it's for us, we don't like to say no. We will find a way to help. There's even this one story of no, I can't share it. It's too private. But there's someone that we helped who needed it the most, and we're able to help with some finances for this individual to put some food in his stomach. And there's countless stories like that. And these are all the wonderful, little, beautiful inner workings of the foundation. Because these, it's really something to be said when we're able to step into that role, because people are looking to us as a lifeline, and that's where we really feel most alive, because like what we have is really working. Now, how can we substantiate it? How can we scale this larger? Well, we can by working with people like yourselves and those, individuals that we've met to this point, and the people that we'll meet in the future. I mean, there's a way for all of us to have just a real strong footprint in this mental health community, and there's really something to be said about just the real stand-up guys that you guys are, and the work that you've done, for both of your guys' businesses, and supporting the foundations and businesses that you're working with right now, including ours. So, again, we cannot be any more grateful and thankful for, honestly, one, having met you guys, and two, seeing us work in this way together for the entire month of September. So, I really, my hat's off to you guys for just being real stand-up men, Rob and Austin. So thank you.
Yeah. Flip that hat around. Is that an Oath to Country hat? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
That's a
is
pretty
actually.
sick hat.
You can go to our website. We have our beach rock shirts.
Would you bring up his website, Austin, please?
You can go to our website. You can find the sweaters, shirts, hats there, and patches and other items. So, I can I share something real quick with everyone that'll tune in for this?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So there's
Oh. Justin, we can't hear you. You're on mute, Austin.
We can't hear you, Justin. We cannot hear you. No sound. He can't hear us.
No. Oh, he's muted.
You muted yourself.
Unmute him. You muted yourself.
Oh, I didn't even touch the screen, guys.
I was
You're
like,
good.
we can't hear you.
All right, tell us what you're about to share, because we
Oh
brought up the website and then we lost.
Yeah, what I was sharing was there's a Silver Star transparency. So if you go on guidestar.com, you'll see information that's pertinent to foundations, nonprofits, respective nonprofits all across the country. And the more information you put out there publicly, you're able to obtain these badges. So silver, bronze, silver, gold. So we're pretty transparent, and we continue to strive to be as transparent as we can. But other than that, yeah, what I was sharing was we just partnered with a local psychotherapist. So if there's any individual anywhere around the country that needs to reach out for mental health support, there's a wonderful lady. I'll share more information privately through direct message on Instagram. The foundation will step up and help pay for your psychotherapy treatment sessions provided by a certified psychologist. So, for anyone listening in, if there are things you want to talk about, you would give us the honor and privilege to help sponsor your mental health sessions. We're ready to stand and deliver. So, just please ask for help, because the help is there.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And when you have those services available or whatever, please let us know. We're glad to share that. I had a question for you. You said you couldn't really share that one story out of privacy. Are there any stories, and they don't have to be like your favorite necessarily, but are there any stories that you can say that either yourself or Oath to Country Foundation did that you feel like was a very memorable or a lasting impact moment?
There's a couple. I'll give you one. We cleaned the home of a Korean War veteran in the city of Long Beach, and I think we checked in at this man's home for, gosh, I want to say it was maybe a 10-hour workday, and we did everything from front to back, inner work. We took two truckloads to the dump site. I mean, this man had a lot of things that he was hoarding for many, many years. And again, at the end of the day, we walked into the living room, and he had his hands on his head like this. And we asked him what was going on, and he had tears in his eyes, because he just witnessed something beautiful happen in his home. We cleaned his windows. We were able to help clear paths in the home so he wouldn't fall. And then I'll give you another home that we did. This gentleman, I believe, was Korean. He was a Korean War veteran as well, in the city of Orange, California. And just before we were able to service the home, there were slabs of cement in the backyard that were uneven, okay, tilted. and he had suffered a fall, and that fall caused a hospitalization. So when I found out that there was, an uneven pavement, that was one of the first things that we did with a large group of veterans. We helped, pave the area of the backyard so that he wouldn't suffer a fall anymore. And this gentleman he was so overwhelmed with gratitude, and to really see and be in that in that environment where someone just feels just an overwhelming sense of gratitude. It really does change your perspective on what you think might be a difficult day, because you know what, when you pour so much love into someone like that, I mean, it'll turn your day upside down, and for all the right reasons. But yeah, those are just beautiful experiences that we all witnessed together as a community. The smiles, the tears, the hugs that just can't let go. And that's why we're in this business, because we really want to have that impact, for many years to come. So yeah, there's just some really great experiences, and we're just grateful to be a part of them, to witness them. It's history. We're making history, guys. All of us are. And it's just really cool to see us all, on a unified front to really make a difference.
Yeah, no, like I said, and it's all about making a difference, and even little gestures that can make a difference.
Yeah, and I don't know, there's something about like just when someone feels down and defeated, and all of a sudden, you're able to make that profound impact or change that actually helps that person get through that day. I mean, that's a win, because there's a lot of people out there who suffer in silence and are very upset of their current circumstances, and are afraid to ask for that help, or maybe they're asking for help and they're not getting it. So to be able to interject and actually make a difference, where veterans are coming together or people are coming together to help out, especially our older veteran community, who, I personally get really really emotional and caught off guard when I meet other veterans who are older than us, and they're our parents' age or they're our grandparents' age, and for the fact that they try to thank us for service time frame that I was in. And the reality is, they went through usually so much worse than what we
Yeah,
went
they had
through.
it 10 times harder than what we
And
had.
and the big thing is the lack of support and gratitude. So I think those, like the program that you're doing, first off, Justin, I didn't even know about this program, so I think it's cool that you brought it up on the podcast. I knew about
Really?
the veterans and dogs program. I knew about the
Yeah.
22 challenges, but I did not know about the program where you guys are going and helping out older veterans clean up their houses and stuff and make it more livable so they don't potentially hurt themselves. So like that's
Yeah. Let me give you a funny story. It
sure,
just came to
please.
mind, and it has to be documented.
Okay.
We found out that the veteran, the first home that we went to go and clean, we found out weeks later that there was a rat infestation problem. So, I mean, we have to put our money where our mouth is. So we were like, okay, guys, we said we would do anything, but the family's asking for help, and we can't go back on our word. So there we go, in this man's attic with gloves, sprays.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
everything to catch however many rats were in this man's attic.
Oh no.
And it was so funny because it was myself, Eddie Coronado, and Jacqueline Arwad. We were just up there just laughing. I mean, we're not certified in that respect, but it
Oh.
was just, but the fact that we are willing to do anything to help someone is like, just it's really something, something funny to be said, because I mean, we'll literally try to do anything to help someone out in need. And as
Yeah.
evidence, we ended up patching up some holes in the walls to, to help prevent, rats from going in or out. So yeah, that was a funny afternoon, guys.
Yeah. Well, if I get a moth infestation, will you come save me? Because like I'm deathly afraid of moths.
Yeah. I think we got a program for you, Rob.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, anyone that listens to the podcast knows I'm afraid of moths, and the critters out here are getting bigger and bigger as summer progresses. I just killed a massive spider the other day running through my garage. I'm pretty sure it was going to try to bite Allie, but no, I mean that it's funny and it's awesome that your company's willing to do something like that because it just goes above and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we really do. I mean, if there's something we can't do, we'll sure find someone who knows how to do it. Um, and that's the part of just, bringing the community together, because we all have different skill sets and different
Mhm.
talents and abilities. So when we're able to bring people together, we have like contractors, electricians, plumbers. We repaired 2 toilets in this man's home. And I mean, none of us are really plumbers, but we had one in the group. So it's really nice to
That's
see
what
how,
YouTube is for, right?
and
Yeah.
that's why we have YouTube. So we can't fix right now. We'll sure find a way. But you know, um, yeah, it's really fun running these programs, because it's a lot of fun for a lot of people, and that's what we're in the business for, is creating a fun, working, healing environment.
Awesome. That's definitely where it's at. And where so if someone wanted to get in touch with you, the best way is probably through communications on DMs through Oath Country Foundation and your website, or
Oh, go directly to the Instagram page, oath_2_country_foundation. So Oath to Country Foundation, or you could just simply type in OTCF. Myself and another individual monitor Instagram 24/7. We see every single message that comes through. Just the other day, we had someone reach out. Hey, I need canine training for my service dog.
Mhm.
Okay, reach out to a good friend of mine, the president over at Pause for Success. So if there's any questions you guys have, there's no such thing as a stupid one. Just ask, because I'm sure we can find someone somewhere out there to help you with whatever it is that you need. Um, so yeah, direct message is the best way to go, Rob.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else you want to put out about your program, about things that are coming up, or anything about you that you want to leave our listeners with before we start segueing to our final like thoughts on the episode?
There's really something to be said too about the level of love and support that Oath to Country Foundation has witnessed, all around the country. And I mean, I'm speaking from the entire board of directors here when I say this, that I mean, we are truly grateful and thankful for the emotional support, the financial support, and all the helping hands that have been involved in this foundation, since day one. Without that commitment from those that have either donated from, somewhere in the Midwest, to, you know helping us out with cleaning a home. I mean, we are all part of this together. We cannot do any of this without you guys. So I really just want to express how thankful we are for those people that have come out and so graciously opened themselves up to be a part of just a big loving family. And that's what we're all about. So, thank you to, you know, those all around the country, and even overseas, that have supported our foundation, have supported Vigilant and Humble, and have supported Save Our Six, because none of us could do it without you guys. And we're really here for the right reasons, and just help us continue to press this mission forward. And and it's not always about the money. It could be a simple like, a simple share. It could even be, hey, you know what? A friend of mine, I think, could benefit from talking to you guys for a moment, sharing that information with your friends and family, your neighbors, your community. That's how we're able to help make this world a better place. Sharing resources and sharing love,
Yeah.
and that doesn't cost anything, guys. I mean, we can all really, do our part, and sometimes that just means sharing information. It's
Yeah.
invaluable.
Sharing information, reaching out. As a matter of fact, we're going to leave him nameless, but there's a small group of us that talk quite a bit. And one of the followers and listeners to this podcast, we noticed like hasn't been posting anything, hasn't been saying anything. But I've noticed that like he's on Instagram because he'll look at our stories when we post stuff. But he's usually a motivated person that posts his gym stuff and hasn't posted anything in a long time. So while Buck was here, myself, Brewer, and Austin and Buck all reached out to this individual. And I can't speak for him, but I know that it wasn't a wasted message just to like do a buddy check. So what that's going to is if you're witnessing someone who is, not really a part of their normal habits or routines, never be afraid to reach out and just check in on someone.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, Robin, and thank you guys for stepping up that way, to check on a brother.
Austin, you got any closing things, or you want to get us into ATI? I got to go steal a bully stick from Allie before she trips on it. So,
Go steal a bully stick from Allie, and then don't want to do that. But yeah, no. We appreciate having you on, Justin. Appreciate you coming on, telling us about the organization and everything that you guys do.
I appreciate that, Austin. Thank you guys for your time, love, and again for your guys' support for this really, really heartfelt foundation that's really trying to do as best as it can for the lives of many. So thank you for believing in us and supporting us in this way. And I want to thank the Vigilant, Humble, and Save Our Six community for purchasing the shirts, the patches, just even the kind messages. Whether you purchased something or you didn't, the fact that a lot of you are going to be getting out there on the trail, whether you're swimming, running, biking, or rowing, we're all in this mission together. And I encourage all of you to document your experience, whether you go on an Instagram live or you take a picture and tag all of us in it, because we'd love to share it with the world. And we really just want to commend everyone for your work ahead of time, before you guys get out there throughout the month of September for 22 miles and 22 pounds. I really just want to thank everyone for coming together in the ways that they have to this point. And, get out there and, put in the time. And we really look forward to seeing, all of this come together. And gentlemen, maybe we can have a debrief at the end of September, and we can talk about the outcomes of this entire suicide awareness month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, we're actually going to be doing a meetup, like an SOS and Vigilant Humble get together in October. It's the same weekend as they changed the name of it. I don't want to get canceled for saying this, but Columbus Day weekend. So that weekend, I think it's like the 8th through the 10th, we're doing a small get together just outside of Red Rock State Park. We found a hotel. More information, just DM either Austin or myself, and we'll give you more of the details. We're looking into seeing if we can get a group discount for the hotel that we're interested in. But, we plan on doing a small get together, or as big as possible. Obviously whoever can show, come out. You all voted more for Vegas than the Grand Canyon. So now I have to drive 4 hours versus going somewhere in my backyard. But, and the extension goes out to you if you're not doing anything that weekend. I know you have a busy schedule and everything, but we're going to do a small get together in Vegas.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll share those details with the team.
Okay. Yeah. Because if anyone wants to come out, we'll make sure you know which hotel it is. The primary objective behind it is hiking, hanging out, and like a dinner. And if people want to go to the strip, we might go to the strip, but it's not focused around being on the strip in Vegas. It's just that's an easier place for some people to drive to or fly to. And there's a state park, and it's the fall, so it should be a little bit cooler.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah, thank you for sharing those details, Rob. I'll definitely circle back with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah, again, gentlemen, thank you for your time, your energy, the questions, and orchestrating such an awesome podcast. I will be reaching out to the board members individually because I'd love for them to share their, part of their testimony and story with you guys, because they have some fight like hell stories, and I know it would add a lot of depth and breadth to your guys's repertoire of accomplished podcasts at this point. So I'll get them on board. But before we embark on this September 1 day ahead of us, thank you guys for allowing us to work in this space with you guys. Being able to benefit from it, because it's not just benefiting us, it's benefiting those that need it the most right now, all throughout Southern California. So thank you guys. And again, for those listening and tuning in, reach out to us if you guys need any help or support. We check our Instagram direct messages. I don't know if you guys do the same, but I'm on that thing maybe, I don't know, 12 hours a day, according to my iPhone. What is it? The iPhone statistics.
Yeah, the analytics on it. The
analytics
says like which app is being used the most.
Yeah. Instagram is always at the top. So guys, I mean, men and women, we check this thing. So reach out if you guys need help. No story should ever end too soon. So let's get after it. Let's come together for something really fun that could have an impact on those that need it most. So let's spread the love, joy, and awareness all throughout the month of September, boys.
Yeah. So, like I said, we thank you, everyone. We're gonna close out this podcast with our usual. It's called Answer the Internet. They're just would you rather
censored
questions.
Version. It's
they're just would you rather questions from the internet.
Oh gosh.
We tamed it back. We tamed it back. We only got 2 questions for you, and they're not, because if you listen to previous episodes, some of the questions are wild, but
I've heard a couple.
In light of the conversation, we catered to you. Austin, you want to hit that first one?
Yeah. Would you rather be able to talk with animals or speak all languages?
Talk with animals.
Yeah, why is that?
Definitely.
To talk to our service pets.
Oh,
okay.
There you go. Yeah, I'm on the same board as you, because I deal with my service dog daily, and half the time I have no idea what she wants. So yeah,
right.
I want to be able to talk to animals, specifically dogs. What about
all right,
you,
hit me with another one, Austin.
No, I agree. So the next one is going to be, would you rather always say everything on your mind or never speak again?
Oh, wow.
Say everything on my mind.
Okay.
What about you guys?
What about you, Austin, first?
I mean, I'd probably want to say everything on my mind. I might get in trouble a lot of the time, but
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the same page, or I don't know. Like, I have devious thoughts sometimes, so maybe I'm gonna
get in a lot of trouble.
I'm gonna need to learn sign language, I guess.
Hey, fun fact, guys! I actually know sign language.
Oh wow! Okay.
I studied it in college.
So all right.
There you
go. Okay. Well.
Next question.
No, that's it.
That's it. What we had, but we can grab another one. I just hope it's. Would you rather have a cat with a human face or a dog with human hands?
I'll go with a dog with hands because I think we can put the dog to work.
There you go.
You know, it's an extra set of hands around the house. Come on,
Right?
Last question I'll hit you with, and then we'll close this out.
Okay.
go ahead.
Would you rather have an extra arm or an extra leg?
I'll go with an extra leg because I think I'd be able to run a lot more mileage
Really? You
for,
don't think you'll trip
for the
over
month
it?
of September. I mean, it depends where it's positioned, Rob. You know,
I
I
guess
mean,
so.
I would hope I'd have a say so where this thing is positioned, but I'm looking at it from a stamina performance approach.
I'm going extra arm. How about you, Austin?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I think we'll go extra arm.
Yeah.
Get more stuff done.
Carry more things. Be able to
Yeah.
throw a ball while working on the computer still so I can entertain my dog. Something like that. But
And you guys are great.
Justin, we really appreciate you. Stick around for a second after I close this out because we're going to get a picture. But unless you all don't have anything else, I'm going to close this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
No, thank
This
you, everyone.
was the Fight Like Hell podcast, episode 69. Please go find us on all the places that you can stream podcasts at. Rate us, subscribe to us, follow us. Also, Austin is currently updating the YouTube channel. So
Am I?
you better be. Yeah, you can find all of our episodes everywhere you can find podcasts. Please give us a rating. Please subscribe. Help us keep working our way up so that way our message can get heard across more countries, more people. Peace, love. Have a good one.